Jabu is a super app for Africa's informal economy. We are the fastest growing B2B marketplace. We're an e-commerce. Think of us as an Amazon for the little shop. Anyone, like that woman, could take out her app or even make a phone call if she doesn't want to use an app and order directly from us. And we will deliver to his or her shop, whoever needs it, any products they need to actually stay completely filled and work on it. We service in less than 2 years, tens of thousands of shops. We have 9 distribution centers. We operate in 3 countries. We employ over 400 people. And we've raised $18 million plus of venture capital for Namibia. We were in Y Combinator. We raised money from A4, FJ Labs, and most recently, we raised our Series A from Tiger Global. And the accolades are not the incredible part of the story, but it's the fact that it's possible. The fact that it's possible to take a sector that no one is thinking about, to raise capital from places you've never thought you could, and bring it into a market that is small enough where you would think you could never invest. You wouldn't think about this. We sell sugar, beer, pasta, maize meal. We do in Namibia alone over $1.5 million a month. We're less than 2 years in operation. Our team, this is an old slide. Eugene is there at the middle. We're probably over 400 people, might be 500. The core of everything we're doing is a lady like Johanna, who instead of being all the way in the north of Namibia, is in the capital, and runs a shop just in the same way. This is the problem we solve. Thousands of these little guys, and that's what they are, the underdog of the retail economy, have to take a taxi to go to a supermarket, to buy stuff, to come back to their shop, to sell stuff in an informal economy at a higher price than any of us would walk outside right now and buy it at a supermarket. It's disruptive. It decycles the flow of funds. The economics of an economy is how much money flows. And if we can make it flow faster, with better frequency, in larger amounts, we're building a stronger country. Jabu is not something I came up with. Jabu is something that is present in Namibia every day. And not only in Namibia, all across the region. The lady you see here in this picture with me, you might have seen this on Facebook. It went viral in 2018. I was building with my brother's housing in a town called Oshifo in Ruacana, in the Omusati region. This is about 5 minutes from the border of Angola. And this woman, her name is Meme Inge Shatona Shekupe, has this little market stand. You can call it a tuck shop. She sells onions, she sells cosmetics, but she has a small shop, a small store in the town of Oshifo. I don't think there's 2,000 people in that town. And she came up to me with 2,000 rand and she said, Tate David, I heard from your team, you have a lot of cement. I need cement, I need 20 bags. And they said, you buy them at $100. If I give you 2,000, will you give me 20 bags? I said, 100%. Where did you come up with 2,000 for this cement? And what do you want it for? She sold onions outside of our office at the NDC complex, which the Namibian government builds to create development in smaller towns, these complexes which allow small traders to actually showcase their products. I was shocked. I asked Menge, how are you going to take the cement to your house? And she said to me, no, I'll hire somebody. Now, I know how hard this lady works because she sold onions to me for $1 Namibian. So 2,000 is not even the profit of 2,000 onions. She must have paid something for them. So I said, you know what, it was a Sunday. I said, I'll deliver the cement myself to your house. And this is the day my life changed. This is the day I discovered Jabu. This is the day I realized I was building housing the wrong way. We don't build housing by putting bricks together. We build housing by empowering every single citizen, not only of Namibia, but around our region, to build what they want to build with the money they make out of the businesses they have. This is Meme Inge's house when I delivered cement, on the left. I went to her house. This is my cement right here, 20 bags. And I found something incredible. I found 30,000 cement bricks made already. Now, may I remind you, we have brick making factories in like 3 or 4 towns of the country because it's very difficult to buy bricks 300 kilometers away and bring them to a town where you are building. And we could spend 30 to 40,000 US dollars setting up a factory to make bricks so we can build housing and turn out to make projects like that. Meme I asked her, I'm sorry, where the heck did you buy these bricks? My heart stopped because I thought there's a competition in the town and we need to check our pricing, what's happening. And I was wondering, where's the other factory? And she said, no, I made them myself. I said, where did you buy the machine? Now I'm wondering, did she find a machine for cheaper than I found my machine? And she said, no, I have this little mold. And every day when I get out of work, I mold my bricks, and I've been doing this for a year. 30,000 bricks. We didn't fund her or give her grants. This woman by herself, with the help of the community when we published her story, built a 3-bedroom house in the informal sector of Oshifo, Ruacana, a 12-hour drive from Windhoek. My point is that Jabu was built out of women like this. Women who are running businesses, who are building the future for their own families, who are waking up every day very early to establish their own shops. We're a B2B e-commerce platform. We help small traders anywhere in the informal economy, and now starting in the formal economy, to use an app to order the products they need, to have them delivered real time for free, and to pay us, which is one of the most difficult challenges to be solving. And I believe we're solving the toughest challenge, but the most exciting one in the next 100 years, which is how do we enable the informal retailer to be sustainable and successful in today's economy. The really exciting thing about Jabu is that today you can think of us as an app where you can order your products, but we've already started building and deploying the Jabu wallet. So we're working with the Bank of Namibia, the Bank of Zambia, and some of the markets where we operate to learn how to launch this. Because as you can imagine, it's not just a problem around the distribution, the ordering, and how you get your products, but how do you pay for them if you're unbanked? And as we grow, part of the vision for what we have is what we call a super app for the business sector in the informal economy, where if you're ever looking for a room to rent, if you come down from Oshakati to Windhoek for the weekend, and you're looking for a room to rent, you better have enough friends you can ask to find out where to stay. Otherwise, there's not a platform where you could rent it. So we want to bring on board the supply side. We want to bring in someone who has a room in Omuvapu Street that is willing to rent it out and put a fair market price and check whether they want to rent it out, just like Airbnb would. And this is not something for the short term, but it gives you the vision of why we're working so hard on participating in this space, because we believe we can digitize and bring on board a lot of that in the economy. And not to mention where we think of us heading as well is the way you pay for a taxi. I don't know how many people have jumped into a shared taxi in Windhoek. I do it all the time. It's my favorite thing to do because you get to really find out what people are thinking. But I never have 13 Namibian dollars in my pocket. I might have 100 or 200, and the guy doesn't have change. Or I might just not have any money, and I'll have to send him a wallet from my bank account, which costs me as much as a ride. So are we even creating solutions to make this more effective? And during the pandemic, when nobody wanted to touch your cash and your coins, it was even more relevant. So, I mean, we are at the Namibia House. I don't have to sell you the opportunity in the continent. But what I can share with you today is that we launched Jabu exactly 2 years ago in Namibia. We raised our seed round of funding in April of last year, led by Afor Capital in the United States, an amazing guy called Gaurav Jain, whose Indian origin, worked at Google and Android, and with 2 phone calls, as an international investor, learned about what we were doing and said, we will lead your round. And we were able to raise 3.2 million US dollars. Y Combinator, which is an accelerator in Silicon Valley, participated, FJ Labs, Klee Capital, and many other venture capital firms that believed in a Namibian startup when I can tell you, when you live in a country of 2.5 million people and others are trying to invest in Nigeria or Kenya or South Africa, selling the story of a country with a smaller population, sometimes it's difficult. But I think our journey and the commitment of, as I mentioned at the beginning, over 180 people working out of our Namibia operations has shown that we can build a product that not only sustains itself in Namibia. Today we deliver to over 7,000 home shops and talk shops and restaurants and mini markets in Namibia alone, half of that in Windhoek. But that we can expand that technology and take it to other markets where we are. Zambia, Botswana, who's represented here today, Eswatini, and South Africa, where we just launched our operations. This was last year. This is how much our sales grew. By February of this year, we had doubled December. In Windhoek alone, we were trading over 15 million rand in just distribution. The average basket size is 1,500. The average delivery. We make tens of thousands of deliveries per month in Windhoek alone. And it takes a village, as they say. It takes many villages. And one of the biggest things in our company is, yes, we are a global company. Today we have software engineers in Egypt. Antonio, who's in the back, is our head of engineering. He's in Spain. We have Namibian engineers in Namibia. But the vast majority of our team are people who grew up with this context. I mean, Dita, you shared that your aunt is a trader. Our city manager in Windhoek, his mom, his name is Luimar, he was going to be here today. Visa issues, he would have been given this talk. His mom ran a tuck shop. The vast majority of our team members have a mom, a cousin, a sister, a brother who runs a tuck shop. And I'm not kidding when I say I've had a minister approach me and says his friend has a tuck shop, his brother has a tuck shop, can he give him more information? We all are exposed to this. This is our team. We are faces of all types, of all backgrounds, of all socioeconomic backgrounds, of all educational backgrounds. And I can tell you the people who are growing the most today in our company are those who give an effort, not who come with the highest degree. And this is the face of Meme Johanna. This is a woman in Windhoek, in Omuvapu Street, who moved to Windhoek as part of urban migration, someone looking for a better opportunity, in the middle of Omuvapu Street, which is a mess, if you ask me. It's a lovely mess. I love it. If anyone ever says, I want to meet your customers, I take them there. Because you can find 40 tuck shops in like 100 meters. And they're all selling the same thing. And how do you distinguish yourself? No, it's the relationships you build with your customers, or whether you have availability to product. When we met Meme Johanna, she had 3 bags of maize meal, 1 bag of sugar, a few potatoes, and a few onions. And when I asked her, how come your shop is so empty? This is at the very beginning of our trade. She said, well, the reality is I'm waiting to have enough money to go buy my products again. And that's the problem we're solving. The average owner of a small retail shop has to take a taxi. And when we shut down the taxi association during the pandemic, and when we shut down the shops, that's when it became alive. We worked closely with the Shack Dwellers Federation, because as you said, people came together in their organizations, and that's what the government is working for, to create these platforms where you can really come together and showcase the issues. And they said, you must open up the taxis. We cannot be 2 people in a taxi because the fare is higher. You must open up the routes. But why? Because they were sourcing their products at big wholesalers far away from their shop at a costly fee, but also when they had time. If you're a woman, as you said, as part of the youth, and you have 3 kids, can you leave them alone at home during the pandemic to go source your products? Most of the time, it wasn't even about cost or time. It was about restrictions at home. Jabu today allows you to order, to receive same-day delivery, to pay cash and digitize your money through us, and to get merchandising from the brands. We're a one-stop shop for many of these small retailers, but also for the brands. How many Namibian brands don't have access to a tuck shop to sell to them? And that's something that we'll mention and we'll bring up. Our B2B marketplace, this is when we were operating just in Namibia and Zambia, is highly focused on 2 parts. And Kevin's going to share with you a lot about our technology when we get there, but we have an e-commerce app, an e-commerce website. We have a brand dashboard. You mentioned data. We have all the data in the world. It's exciting. We want to show it to you today briefly. But also, we have the people. You cannot build this without people. We have field agents who own the market, who go talk to their customers every day, who teach them how to use technology, who sit with them and spend the time saying, this is what an app is. This is why you want to order. This is how to use it. When we first started Jabu, I was walking, this is an exciting thing to show you the resilience of the Namibian woman, because it was 4 women. I was walking in Prosperita, which is an industrial area very far from the informal sector. And I found 4 women, Anna, Lena, Beatrix, and Hilia. They all graduated in accounting or finance from a university in Windhoek. And they were walking in the street of this industrial area going door by door, selling to people the ability to register your CC. Now, if you're Namibian, you know what a CC is. Everyone has one. It's a closed corporation. It's, do you want me to register your company? I'll go register it for you, fill out the paperwork, prepare your things, and we'll let you be a business person. Now, I asked these 4 women, how much money do you make doing this? They said, no, we work in commission. I said, how much do you make last month? They said, 750 Namibian dollars. I said, well, here's 400 Namibian dollars. If you can get to my office before me, because I have a meeting here, my office was all the way in Eros, I will give you a job for 4 times that amount to start right now. What are we going to do? I said, I'll tell you when we get there. First, I want to see if you can get there. They all showed up. We signed a contract. We didn't know what we were going to do. We drove the next day to wholesalers, and we packed up my bucky, as we call it, which is a pickup truck. We filled it up with cooking oil, with maize meal, with sugar, with snacks, with beverages, and we drove around shop by shop to every shop we had mapped with Shack Dwellers Federation. And we offered products in a time where it was practically impossible to go source them. And the response of the average retailer, this is us today, but the response of the average retailer then was, God bless you. Now, mind you, we were charging for these products. We were getting free blessings, all 5 of us. And we did that for 45 days. And we got back to the office. They got their overtime. We got back to the office at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. to count a bag full of money from every sale we made and a bag full of receipts. And we realized this is unsustainable. We have 3 big problems. We don't know who's ordering, so we have to buy blindly all the products we sell. We don't know how to reconcile the sales, and we don't know where the cash came from at the end of the day. We've spent the last 2 years, endless nights, an entire team of us, working on reconciling the cash and creating cash processing centers. On a good day, we process over $1 million in our Namibian dollars in our cash processing centers in cash and coins, all coming from 1,000, 500, 500, 500 transactions. This is our fleet of trucks. We operate over 30 trucks in Namibia today, but most importantly, we're enabling our Jabu drivers network. Our fleet team will tell you, the last time I checked, we had 89 truck drivers in Windhoek who operate their own private trucks, who plug into our app, who plug into our network, and are able to distribute for us on demand into the routes. And one of the things we're working on very closely right now with some institutions in Windhoek is about launching our Jabu drivers program through the Jabu Academy, where you have to learn not only how to drive, but how to manage your finances as an entrepreneur. And part of our vision as in Jabu Finance, which is a subsidiary we just registered in Namibia, is to start financing vehicles to people who want to be their own logistics SMEs. These are pictures from our Zambia operations. Eugene, who's our chief operating officer, launched Zambia. You can see him here with the equivalent of an organization there called the Poor People's Organization. It's a horrible name. Horrible name. Now, what I can tell you is that they are amazing people. It's the equivalent of what you would think of as a Shack Dwellers Federation in Namibia. It's women, it's leaders in every community who run their communities, who run their businesses, who run their shops, who self-mapped their towns, and who empowered Jabu being themselves to be created in Lusaka. And in the first month, we had 3,000 shops. Now, if you represent a brand, and when I say a brand, I'm not just talking about a fast-moving consumer goods brand, but also a bank, also a service provider. The part we're most excited about is how we get you into the shelves of all these informal sector retailers. Today, brands have 2 options, and I'm sure Kevin will touch on more of them, but you can use our technology to empower your sales team and monitor them, but you get access on a dashboard live to every single thing that is happening, geo-mapped, with maps, with data, with average basket sizes, with frequency, and you get to see exactly what is happening with your brands, your products, all across our market. This is the incredible thing. I said our revenue was growing, and when I studied economics at the University of Chicago, they teach you that revenue is price times quantity. So you can either increase the price of things, or you can increase the quantity of things you sell. The number of items we sold just increased by bulk loads. But the average basket size, the average price, the average value of the purchase, a basket size is like you walk into a supermarket, you walk out with a basket and you pay for it. That's what we call our basket size. Our basket size last year grew by 5x, and this year it's already doubled. It means that when we can deliver to you today, on time, you can source again the next day and double your operations. If you sell out, you don't have to wait to take a taxi in a week or two to go buy all your products. You can order the things you are missing. And we kept that minimum order low enough where we were losing money, but we were incentivizing shops to source the products they need. So we can also understand from a data perspective, what is the selling capacity of these shops? We have shops today that sell over 200,000 per month. And we have shops that sell 2,000 per month. And the answer is that the resilience of the shop owner determines the kind of business they can run. The woman on your right was our first female 5-ton driver. Not often we think of a woman driving a 5-ton truck. It's one of our biggest pride that as part of the Jabu Academy, of the Jabu Drivers Program, anyone of any age, I believe she's 21, can run and participate in any part of our business. You see down here, that's a typical delivery agent, a fulfillment agent teaching a customer how to order, how to pay, and then you have a customer running a shop in Windhoek, ordering their things. We're really excited about our Jabu wallet. As I described to you guys, we're processing millions in cash and coins. We have an amazing woman called Esther Johannes. She was the 6th employee after the first 4 ladies. And this woman studied accounting. She was working for 1,500, also doing some street sales. But she's smart and she's committed and she's probably one of the brightest people I've met in my time in Namibia, mother of 2. Esther today runs our cash operations. She's single-handedly responsible for the processing of all the money at Jabu. And what I think she would tell you is that we have a big problem. Everyone pays us cash. And the more we grow, the longer she stays at work. I told her, you're in charge, make 2 shifts. She said, we have 3 shifts, and we still can't keep up. Now, if you think about our wallet, I want to give you an example. Let's say Joanna, who I showed before, has 5,000 Namibian dollars in her pocket. That's a great month for her. She's trying to decide what to do with it. She will not take a taxi for 40 Namibian dollars or 50 to a bank to deposit her money. It's not worth her time. It's not worth her money. So she'll wait until we deliver again to pay for it. But she wants to digitize her money. Otherwise, somebody will knock on her door. We've got a funeral, and I know you've got like 5,000. And I was wondering, maybe, perhaps, potentially, can we take 500? It's the truth. We're all laughing. I see everyone laughing. It's the truth because it happens where I grew up. It happens in Namibia. It happens all around the world. If you're the one with the money, the door will be knocked on. Now, we want to incentivize her to let her customers come withdraw and deposit money at her shop. So if Petrus comes to her early in the morning on his way to work and he says, I need a 200 meme, I want to withdraw 200 from my bank account, and he can choose any bank. I will not name one because I'm not being paid to name a bank. When he withdraws 200 from Meme, she will take that out of her pocket. But on the app, she will record that he's giving 200. Now the 200 will go from his bank account to a Jabu centralized system and let it sit on her wallet. But she has to give in exchange the money that left his bank account to go to her digitally, physically. And that's an exchange of digital to physical float. That's how you get rid of your physical money. You let people in the community to come withdraw from you by transferring from their bank account. You're doing a trade. It's like somebody saying, can I e-wallet you and you give me cash? But can I wallet you directly and you give me cash and you're able to reconcile it? And that, whether we want it or not, is the future of money in Africa. It's the future already in Nigeria. It's the future in Zambia. Telcos are moving most of the money through wallets, and we want to participate in that. Now, for some of you who've been in Windhoek at the Franco-Namibian Cultural Center, we've launched our new headquarters, where we're hoping to not only bring tech talent from outside the country to teach and train and participate in bringing skill set, but develop Namibian talent where I think today we have about 4 or 5 engineers that are already working there, plus marketing, plus design, plus partnerships teams. On the left is a picture from our Zambia team. This is where we launched our Jabu Growth Conference, and I can tell you, allowing partners, employees, colleagues from other countries where we operate to come to Namibia for a month, to feel what we are building in Namibia, is going to be part of the future of creating a Namibian company that operates in the region. In November, we won the Africa Startup of the Year at Africa Arena in Cape Town. And I said it there, and I will repeat it today. We didn't win it. It's ladies like the one you see on this picture who are every day working to make us a better company. Because I promise you, no one has higher expectations than the small merchant. You're late, you don't have change, I ordered this and you brought me that, the quality of this product is not up to standard, and they are the ones that are keeping us to our toes. It's not our investors, it's nobody else. And what is amazing is that there are millions of customers buying from these small retailers, and this is the face of them in 5 countries. And maybe you can tell the difference ethnically, socially, but you cannot tell the difference between the problems they're all facing. And we're solving a problem that is highly scalable, not only in the 5 countries where we operate, but across the region. Eswatini, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, and Zambia, all markets where we have teams today operating.